Okay, let's turn over here to the cover panel. Have my shell. Get a little more shell. So this area has been moistened a few times. Already my pool finish, which has about an hour's worth of life before it gets hard, is starting to get a little bit thicker than it was, so I added just a few teaspoons of water, and that'll loosen it back up. So again, working with the material, this time it's better to start at the top. Just place it on. Of course, you'll have your existing finish. To blend into instead of the gray. Just get a good coverage, about an eighth of an inch, quarter of an inch. Can be irregular. This pool finish is really good stuff. It gets in my clothing sometimes. If I don't rinse it out, it stays there for a long time on cloth. It's good stuff. So on your panel, you'll have all of this waste towards the bottom. Again, being careful, you can just rinse it all off of the finish that's good. Trying not to let it keep running. Taking my gloves off. If you think you've diluted it some, you can put a little more so that it's not runny or diluted. And if there are a few chunks down below, you can knock them off tomorrow or the next day when it's hard. First, as I said, I enjoy throwing without my gloves, but that's up to you. You can keep them on. And then just throw it on. Get good coverage. And it might sag here or there. You can just touch it very lightly. That gets good adhesion with the shell. Throw a little more. And then that needs to be covered and kept dry 6 to 8 hours. And then you're ready to clean your bucket. What I usually do, of course it's good to have gloves, but the leftover material, I put it someplace that I can keep it covered up. And for another couple of hours, if you find something you missed, you might be able to reuse it. And when the concrete starts to set up, if you have to add a lot of water to make it alive again, it's going to weaken it and it'll never be strong. But you do have a little window of reuse. Clean up your buckets, clean up your gloves. While I'm here, I'm going to show you how I patch this little abrasion up here that's in a color rock. If you can see up close that there's a finish exposed underneath, because you have patches like that to do around the fountain, you said. Again, you moisten the area. You moisten it a second time. You might want to wait a few minutes, but I think it'll be okay. So we have just a small amount of the material in my hand and place it over where the gray is. Place it there carefully. Abrasion up here, and then feather it out. Go a little bit over the good finish, that's fine. A little bit here on the edge. hands off. Always have a bucket of clean water nearby to rinse your hands. And then take your shell and throw it on. And then press it a little bit. Throw a little more. And then cover it up, keep it dry, out of the hot air and wind. Cover it up for 6 to 8 hours the next day, and you can brush all the loose shell off. So here it is, the day after we did the finish. The final step is to beat off the loose shell, and this patches you do around, the same thing. Just beat off the loose shell. And then you can hose it, hose the area, rinse it a few times because some free lime will come out. So you shouldn't plan on filling the fountain up forever with the fresh water. Spend a day or two coming back and rinsing these things in the panel. It's not a big deal. It wouldn't do too much free lime, but it will put some of the alkaline into the pool. Same thing over here with the patch. You just go ahead and beat all the loose shell. And the back of it, if you didn't already patch it, you can do the overlay and the finish on this to give it the full strength. I didn't, just because I don't need to, but you should finish this on location so it has the more strength even than the piece before it broke. So good luck, Jamie.